Hey guys, it's Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? You got it right. I can't sleep. But that's okay because we're back to this handbook. Very important handbook. So with my revamping of my channel, instead of reading you from the horse's mouth or the social memory complex's mouth, we're going to go over some things today that wants me to cover with all my allergies and all. Before I get into that, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. And share with those who might benefit from hearing this message. Why do I say that? Because I'm not gaining anything from this. I don't get paid. I'm not looking for money. Donations and love offerings are amazing and they help me be able to continue this work. But I want the knowledge out there. Mind you, I'm already eating once a day and whatnot, but the Wanderer's Handbook. How to approach our missions here. Yes, we all incarnate here with a mission. Some of us have multifaceted missions. Some of us have different types of missions, soul missions, earthly missions. Many of us have dual missions. So missions from our higher self, and if we're star seeds, from our star families. And then we come here, but then we have our earthly body and our soul mission. So for some of us, we are starting to pick up on what our missions are, and others not so much. And that's okay, because look at the world we're living in right now. How is it any easy to actually think about, oh, what's my mission here? Why? Because look at the world, and many people, it's too much, and it's okay. It really is. It's okay. It's going to be okay. I keep telling myself that, and 7 months later, without having a job, I'm still pushing through and making it. I'm persevering. It's not easy, but I'm here. So the first topic is transformation. Latwii states, we will come on at time where the keys will come to us to unlock doors of the inner self that will show treasures that will awaken the seeking. You will come to understand Creator and be one with Creator that's within us. We transform and become apparent in this incarnation to go within, to look for the Creator within the process, and it becomes easier and more fulfilling. We are all transforming our souls, our minds, our bodies, our spirits, all of us. We're receiving light codes. We had a whiteout in the Schulman residence. A lot of people were taking out. I was taken out. I was useless. I wanted to do some oracle readings, couldn't do it. Just the energies weren't with me to do it. I had a lot of introspection and a lot of thinking and pondering and, ooh, what's going on? We all have those days. We are going to have those days. It's going to happen more and more and more. But the key is to unlock your inner self. Who are you? Who are you? Who are me? And your other self, and your higher self, and your over self, and all the selves that inhabit you. It's to awaken the creator within you. It's not easy to do. That's absolutely not easy. But when we go within and ask, it's not going to directly come to you right away. Some people it does, and others it doesn't. But if you look for the signs and symbols of what you're supposed to do, it will present itself. When I first lost my job and I sat down and I'm like, okay, creator, I'm done skis. I'm leaving it up to you now to show me where I keep going wrong, because apparently nothing I do works for a long period of time. I was a Zumba instructor. I was a tattoo artist. I am an artist. That's never going to go away. I just go through phases of being able to have the time to do creating work that never ever sells, by the way. You know, that's like more of an enjoyment and a hobby for me at this point, because sometimes I can sell and sometimes I can't. But what do I do to earn a third density living? Because that's the paradigm that we're in. Because everything I've tried failed or did not work out. But I did gain a lot of experience from every one of those experiences that have bettered me as a human being. Absolutely. But I'm like, hi, creator, I'm done. Now it's in your hands. I'm leaving it to you to show me what I need to do and put the work into. So what happened? I started seeing comments from people that watch my favorite Jason. And I started to see a lot of people just don't have the time to read the books. And a lot of people never been exposed to these books before. I'm not just talking about one, but many. A lot of people are just not aware. And I always innately knew that one of my missions is to transition people into a more spiritual paradigm. The ones that resonate with it. I'm not forcing anybody. Or to help people transition from a more religious mindset to a spiritual mindset and have them understand that it's all one and the same. So we all come to our transformation differently. We all have a different mission. There's people who are, when you touch others, you're healing them. There are people who can channel. There are people who can move spirits on. There are people who understand and grasp metaphysics and then can translate it way better than me. There are people who are taking everything mathematically and mapping out what the spiritual people are laying out for them, so they can mathematically put the equations together and figure out the dynamics of the universe. There are people building structures for free energy. . Animals are fighting. So just know that your transformation is unique to you, but you have to do the inner work. You have to go within. And if you're not getting anything, you have to ask. Hey, creator, hi. I'm lost here. Could you give me a sign, please? I would appreciate it. I'm stuck. I don't know what's going on. Please help. And eventually a sign will come to you. Something, a light bulb will go off in your head and, oh, okay, that's the path that I need to take. And it's innumerable of all the paths one could take. There's no right or wrong. Go with what aligns with you. And that's inner work or outer work. It all, at the end of the day, you still have to go inside. Hatann speaks about be more consciously aware of the signs that are around you. The light shines on the gradual transformation of the darkness into the shining light. Transformation will come. As we transform, we need to heal the past, forgive, cut the cords to the negative, but don't forget the lessons those negative catalysts set you to transform. It's all there to better us. Also, don't judge it. As we move through what mindset we are looking for, we are looking not only to improve ourselves, but others. Seeking a spiritual family or tribe to come together so the transformations aren't a self journey, but with people who understand what you're dealing with. Things seem so much darker and difficult, but it's the lessons you need to see how bright your light is. Call out for assistance. It's true. Again, we're on third density, third dimension, vibrating to a sub or a sub octave of 4. We're not on fourth density yet. We're not there. And whatever people say about the fifth dimension and fifth, great, but you can't skip. And if you do, you have the work already done inside you. You already did that work. But I don't think anybody here on third density can comprehend all of it, to grasp it all. If 3 people on this planet has, great, they could go to fifth. No judgment there, but don't skip the lessons that your soul needs, period. I hear a lot of people go, fifth. Can't skip fourth. You got to go through fourth to go to fifth. Just saying. It's how it works from my perspective, by the way. Just saying. So again, we're here with the spiritual family or tribe. We're here to teach others. And in our transformation, you're not going to have all the answers. I sure don't. I went for a quantum healing session because I knew there was something going on, blocking me from receiving my fullness. I don't have the abilities that Kid and Candy does with High Vibes Up, who did the healing for me. I don't have that ability. So I'm going to reach the people that I know that have that ability to help me. I implore you to do the same. You're just one entity encompassing a social memory forming complex. And each person has its own puzzle piece that will help you on your way. For me, I'm here to help transform people who are just waking up to bigger and better knowledge with whatever resonates with them, to actually have them think outside of a box and a paradigm that they've been in since they were in their infancy. Because when you're born, you're given an identity, you're given a name, you're given everything, a religion as well, and a paradigm to follow. You didn't get to choose none of it. None of it. Well, you chose the experience, and it was free will of your parents to be the teachers and guides for you for what your soul needed. Okay, but a lot of people can't look outside of what they know and hold comfortable and hold true to themselves. It's not easy. But more people are waking up to looking outside of their paradigm. And I'm here to help people look at the different knowledge that I have, see what resonates with those people, and then they can go on their journey with more knowledge, more book knowledge. And it's not all, it's what resonates within you. It's what's singing to you. That's what's important. A lot of people recommend a lot of books to me. Unfortunately, I can't obtain them or permission to read them book cover to cover, depending on the book, but I do try. Now, with your own personal transformation, I have a lot here moving forward in my notes that will help you. But know that your journey is, you have to do it yourself. Inner work. No one could do that for you. It's not easy to rewire your brain. It took me 4 years to rewire my responses to people. It took me 4 years of like consciously catching myself when I'm unconsciously just speaking and just doing me about my everyday life, stopping and like, wow, why am I reacting like that? Why am I projecting like that? This is not in alignment with what I'm trying to be. This is no. Okay, so next time I'm going to be more aware of when I'm talking or projecting to somebody or just have a conversation. How am I responding and reacting? And if it doesn't align with what I'm trying and what I'm working on, I'm going to, be more aware of changing it or stopping it in its tracks before it comes out. And it takes a long time for one to stop in their footsteps, acknowledge that, oop, the alarm bell went off. I'm doing it again. All right, let's walk it back and let's respond differently. It takes time. And everybody does it on their own timing. It's divine timing. It happens when it happens. But when you're consciously aware of that, you want to change something within yourself, a reaction, usually if someone cuts me off, I'm like, my New York attitude pops out. Not anymore. Maybe that person has to go to the bathroom. Maybe I'm in their way. I have to forgive them. They're ignorant. But you know what? I'm alive. So instead of getting pent up and angry for no reason, for someone cutting me off or doing something stupid because they're not paying attention, well, at least I'm not the wake-up call they need when the car gets slammed into and then everybody's day is ruined and then things happen. Maybe you had a fight with your partner. And maybe the way that you're responding is amping them up. It's making them really angry. Find a way how that to turn that off and not react to them. I have plenty of girlfriends who are in abusive, horrific relationships, and they keep feeding the same reaction. I'm like, stop reacting that way in front of them. let it roll off your back. Whatever the comment is, how horrible it is, it don't let it affect you because you're sucking in that negative energy. Let it go. Do something else. Just react differently. Change your energy. It's key to your transformation. And no one's asking you to be a saint. Don't let anybody step on you. Period. You have to have, you have to stand in your authenticity. You have to be you. You're in your human self. But at no certain terms do you lay down for anybody. But it's how you react and the energy you're off-putting that creates a reaction for somebody else. And that reaction is being bounced off to you like a ping pong ball. Listen to System of a Down's Bounce. Pogo stick. It's like this repetitive up and down. Respond to it differently. Takes time. It's hard work. But that's a very big way to transform your being so that you can get your mission accomplished. If you have all these extra things coming into your everyday life, messing up your energy, you can't transform. You can try, and I'm sure you'll do okay. But to get the full capacity of like approach our mission, how do you approach your mission? There's a lot of work that's involved, a lot of shadow work, a lot of inner work, a lot of realizations that you need to come onto yourself. We're all, again, different situations, different unique personalities, a unique paradigm, and every one of us has our own challenges and catalysts we set forth in this incarnation for ourselves. Only we know what we put in front of ourselves. It's going to be different for everybody. I'm just giving some examples, but ask out for assistance. That's why when I do my oracle readings, I always pull from once I got those cards, the prayer cards from Archangel Michael, because someone will resonate with whatever I pull, and someone's going to say that prayer. Archangel Michael will hear it, and there will be assistance. And it doesn't need to be him. It could be anything, any entity that you call upon. Just make sure it's positive. Because if you call on the negative things, you're going to be going to the negative density. I wouldn't want to end up there. No thanks. I don't want to be amongst the grays and the reptilians, the negative Nancy ones. So within this transformation of ourselves, we have to keep in mind the global mind, which I don't like that word because I'm more of a toroidal earth. Theory. We really, again, it's all perception, okay? But well, this is what's in the book. We are all manifesting a positive destiny. One where we all are abundant and harmonious and live as one species, not divided. I stress this all the time. The evil, the negative polarity entities that's infiltrated and is a part of the design of Creator, because let's face it, that's what it is. They're all from Creator. Okay, so Creator put these people in as catalysts for us to learn from, to go within, to learn that we are the light, we are divine beings, we have the power within us. But what happened was our genetics, our genes, and everything within got dumbed down, got lessened. So now we're here now building up back the DNA, building back all the structures within us that was poisoned and downgraded. We're now trying to upgrade ourselves again to become the beings that we were at the very point of Earth. Okay. All of us, no matter if you're a starseed, no matter if you have 5 different types of starseed, it doesn't matter. You're here on Earth and you inhabit a vehicle. What people really need to understand is we are one species. We are human. We're all different. Unless you're a clone. Okay. Even identical twins are still different. There's 2 of them. But they still have different, I trust me, I have worked with little children who are identical twins. My next door neighbors I grew up with were identical twins, but they still, you could tell them apart. Even if there's nothing there, you could tell their personalities apart. They're different. Period. They're their own individual. So, mind you, we're all trying to have like a harmonious existence. We want that for everybody, every being on this planet. End of story. The problem is the negative polarity entities created a system of divide and conquer. That's not just within the American mind frame, that's within every paradigm on this planet. Some places are less than others. Some places around the world, they hate Americans. I don't blame them. But they're not looking at identity in terms of color. They're looking at the content of your character and your personality and the being that you are. They're not worried about what you are look-wise. Unless you have a crazy eye and you have a sledgehammer in your hand and you're walking around and wanting to beat the crap out of people. Obviously, again, you're looking at that person like, okay, that person has some issues. You see them walking around New York all day. You do. They're there. There are a lot of mentally ill people that need help. And there's no help for them. It's by design. So what we really all need to do is stop judging every race, color, creed, and sex. Just stop. It's not hard. Love one another. Treat one another how you would want to be treated. There's a reason why there's a spectrum of people, of entities, of people and vehicles, a spectrum of color. And it's all beautiful. Each one of us already has inhabited all these vehicles in prior incarnations. Some people are very heavy in one culture, but have experienced all the other cultures. But they happen to remember the culture that they, for myself, I was in Scandinavia a whole bunch of my lives. I was in Ireland a whole bunch of my lives. I was in Russia, in Finland. I happened to be up there, but don't think I wasn't in other places. I was in Italy. I was down further. I was probably in Egypt. I'm not going to lie. These are the lives I can recall. Not everybody can recall any of their lives. I have the ability to do that, but not all of them. And let me tell you, when I did that quantum healing, I've lived 27,600 and something lives. And that's between me and the other self that I have, who is living now simultaneously to myself in another dimension. And I believe it. That's why I'm tired. I've lived a lot of cycles and a lot of lives. And if I can recall a few, great. But I'm not recalling no 27,000 lives. I'm not supposed to remember all of them. Only the ones that are going to trigger within me my healing. But going back to the global mind, in order for us as a planet to get up to fourth density, because it's love and unconditional love and understanding, we have to stop dividing each other into damn boxes and stereotyping and labeling. We got to stop. We're human. End of story. You're human. I'm human. We bleed blood. It's red. We have organs. They're pink in color, and some of them are black and brown. Inside of us, each organ has its own color. At the end of the day, your skeleton is going to be a white little doodly guy. Who knows if what color you were that inhabited that skeleton? You are a skeleton. Everyone has one. So why is there such a divide? Because this is what the negative agenda is, to divide us. But in order to move up and to move forward, we all have to all consciously come together, put the differences aside, put the looks aside, put all of this negative Nancy division nonsense to it aside, because at the end of the day, it's not going to freaking matter. Because the guy who's going to help me move stuff because he's physically able to, I don't care what he looks like, as long as the job gets done and I'm safe. The guy who's standing and protecting me as a soldier, do I care what color he is or what race he comes from? No. He swore his life on the Constitution to keep me safe. I shouldn't care what color they are, and nor should you. So the sooner we can all come together as a human species, the better we're going to be. And when we drop all the labeling and the judging, yeah, there is no perfect race. Sorry, guys. Even humans, there is no perfect human because it wasn't designed to be perfect. There's no perfection. God is perfection, period, end of story. And then we come down. We can't be perfect. We don't even comprehend past their density yet. There are people who are close to fourth density comprehension, and there are, beings from the divine that incarnated into a human body that have that knowledge, but very few and far between, and you're not going to walk in their path. You're lucky if you do. I'm not saying it's impossible, but they're a dime a dozen amongst us. So we all have to start coming together and dropping it. And listen, I worked in this environment where they tell you who to hate. They tell you who is the victim. They indoctrinate kids with this nonsense. Here's the problem. You learn from your past so it doesn't bring itself into the future. But we're bringing the past with itself into the future because we're teaching the kids the wrong fucking past. We're teaching these children to hate with packaged words that don't seem like it's hate, but it absolutely is. We are all different. If there's another me out there, it's my other simultaneously living self that made it into this dimension. Okay? That's the only way you're going to see another me. Otherwise, it's a clone. And my earlobes are detached, by the way. Just. And not to say that everybody who has attached ears are clones. They're not. But that's one of the telltale signs. Okay? This is really important. Because you want to approach your mission, you have to service every person, no matter what they look like. And that's very hard for a lot of people to do, especially if you've been in a community and you haven't branched out to know what's out there. And yes, there's not a lot of pretty people out there doing really good things. There's a lot of evil people out there, but you're going to energetically know who has your best interests in mind, and those are the people you attract. But on a mindset of the earth, there are good people in every race. And we got to save those. We got to come to those that are less abundant. And that's going to happen. Also, mind you, back when we supposedly had a planet called Meldeck that became the Kuiper Belt. And then we had Mars and some other planets that no longer, or land masses. Again, we don't know the real truth until it's divulged or we come to it on our own, but everybody's truth is different. So I'm just speaking on different levels, on different people who believe in different things. But mind you, that there is planetary karma, dimensional karma. Setting off atomic weapons was a no. That was a breach. Keys of Enoch, I read about it. That was a big no. Now, did we personally do it? Were we born when this happened? Nope. Didn't comply to it. Didn't say yes to it, but it happened. Okay. But that is your planetary karma. Just like many of us lived in Lemuria, Mu, and Atlantis. Were half of us the ones that created the Centaur and the Minotaur and crossbred animals and people? I don't know. Was there a lot of things that went wrong with these experiments because they were highly civilized people, very spiritual people, but in the cycles got kind of dumbed down? We don't know for sure, each and every one of us, and what role we played, but we carry that karma regardless if we did it or not. We all carry that karma. That's why I'm in a human form, by the way, because I was in Atlantis and Lemuria, and oopsies, someone did something wrong and I wasn't aware of it and I didn't stop it, and both fell. And now I'm repeating that karma, but there's a way to heal it. But we don't want to end up like them. We don't. So we have to consciously now that we are aware that we can carry planetary karma with us and that could keep us stuck here, we can do a lot better by righting a lot of wrongs, which will be incoming very soon. And I'll explain after I read the rest. We need to right the wrongs the nations have done to others. So we need to aid those across the planet to raise in vibration and do part to help them understand what took place. I'm going to quote, the planetary consciousness is drinking in your essence. Inconvenient and difficult times beckon. End quote. At the end of third density, we will have new ways of dealing with other cultures, races, and entities. The end result is thought, logic, and being is a spiritual convergence of a social memory complex, which will be fourth density positive work. We are learning to be one. And that we are. And when the sooner that we understand that we are all one, we're individualized here, but our essence and everything that we encompass is all one, because we're all linked to the creator, the better our world is going to start getting. If things go according to what's been happening in the world, the old dying out, the old systems and the old ways of doing things are starting to crap out. We're not in America there yet. It's the movie is White Hats. If you're listening, too long. This movie needs to end. Needs to end. Because some people are never going to wake up, and it's the time now. Okay? They're not waking up right now, and you're not helping because no. The financial system is going to change. There are people who have invested in other types of currencies that once this rewrite of our financial system happens, and it's happening in other countries first, but they still have the same agenda. They will go into these places and ask for permission to do a service. So there are third world countries with people starving. If let's just say I am the one who had the money to purchase all this currency that now I can do humanitarian projects, I would reach out to these people that I would like to help and say, hey, would you like the help? I can put greenhouses so you can make your own food. We can try to get some water, fresh water systems in your area so that you can have fresh water. Would you like electricity? Let's see if we can get this to happen for you. What else would you like? Asking them, not just doing for people, is very vital. There are tribes out in the Amazon rainforest and out in remote parts of the world that don't want anybody near them. They are sufficiently fine in their paradigm, and they don't want assistance. They don't want anybody tampering with their assistance, their land, or anything else. So those people will say probably most likely no. And they'll probably kill you if you even try. And you have to respect that. That's the life that they want to live collectively in their community. That's what they want. So just don't think you're going to do a humanitarian project. Of course, you have the best intentions in the world, but they have to agree to it. So if you're somebody who really is a humanitarian or somebody very charitable and you want to help other people in other places or animals, what have you, come up with a plan, but just be aware that they might not go with it. And don't be upset. It's not wasted energy. It's good intentions. Someone else will be able to use it. But just be on the idea that you need to have permission to do anything. Can't just run in a country and say, I'm here to help. And it's something they don't want. And then they're going to hate you. So be mindful. A lot of you know what I'm talking about. Be mindful. I wouldn't want someone coming here and throwing, hey, I would love a greenhouse in my backyard, but do I really want to stay here? Maybe I want to move to a place where I can have a community garden. If everybody in the community is cool with having a community garden where there's fruits and veggies that you can pick and take without having it being taken advantage of, awesome. There's parts of this country in America that still doesn't have clean water. Yet not one person has gone over there to figure it out. Gotta love the country we live in. Maybe you want to have a spiritual school where there's children who have abilities, and instead of going to a normal school, yes, they have to learn their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and learn how to write, but it could be in a way that helps them. And it could cover things that they relate to instead of things that don't. There are a lot of teenagers right now who don't align with going to college. They're more into the trades. So why aren't we promoting more trades? It's just as good as going to college. It is college, different type. So these are the things that you really need to think about when we're thinking about a planetary mindset. What are we able to do for others? My videos can reach all around the world. Whoever has internet access can access my videos free. Will they? I don't know. But my information can definitely help them if they choose to take it. Here's my co-host, Miss Grumpy. Hi, Miss Purble. Give me a minute. She's being stubborn. She's being very stubborn. That's okay. She's going to be a human. I have to treat her. Right? Thank you. Forgiveness. This is the hardest thing that we have is forgiveness. Hatann. Hold yourself accountable, and you must go through the pain of your own damnation. Walk through the door of self. Forgiveness and awareness of infinite redemption and newness. When we learn, we aren't always going to get it right. And we wouldn't learn nothing if we were always right. Look at yourself with mercy. We are here on a third density realm. And that is the catalyst. We have negative and positive, and we have to balance it out. We get to choose with free will which polarity we want to magnetize towards. Many of you watching me have magnetized towards the positive. So you have to forgive yourself first before you can forgive anybody else. And what did Christ teach? And not just Christ, Buddha, and all of them. What did they teach? Forgiveness. And a lot of people forget about that. You have to forgive, and it starts with you. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. And there's a lot of trauma and a lot of things I had to forgive myself for. There's a lot of guilt. There's a lot that I had to forgive myself for and say, well, what did I learn from this experience? What did I learn? I had a lesson to learn. Now that I learned it, it's not going to repeat, and I move on to the next lesson and the next lesson and the next lesson, and we all do this. It's a perpetual wheel, and the lessons get harder as we go along. But you're not perfect. No one is, and you're going to mess up. And that's to teach you to look outside of where you are going, because maybe the lesson is somewhere else. And forgive yourself. No one's perfect. Everybody does something wrong. To the extremes, sure. There's people who have taken life because their life was endangered. There are people who do things but then redeem themselves, forgive themselves, and move on and become a better part of society for it. We can't judge. I'm going to quote again. Quote, "To forgive another truly, one must erase all conditions. With free will, we have the freedom to drop these conditions we make in our minds and expectations placed on others in order to forgive them." End quote. We place these conditions on ourselves. So start forgiving yourself. For every bad word that you said, that you're offended by, for every anger outburst that you've projected onto somebody that didn't deserve it, for whatever it is that you need to forgive yourself for, forgive yourself. Accept that those things were challenges and lessons in your life. The people, places, and things in your life are placed there to teach you. And it also goes the other way. You could also have been the teacher, the person, place, or thing that someone needed as a catalyst for them to learn. But either way, that exchange of energy that you had with another person, whether it was meant to be, it's fate, forgive yourself. Because that's what they needed to wake the fuck up. Latwii. It's important to respect yourself, not only that, but honor, love, and nurture yourself. Latwii says, when you can forgive yourself, you have an easier time forgiving others. Release is the key word here. Give it back to the universe, those energies which can be easily absorbed into infinity. And don't let those energies absorb your feelings. Let the forgiveness flow. So it was very interesting in my quantum healing session. I gave this perspective that we are all divine creatures. We are all of creator or fractalized. And we come to this third density experience to play out a role so creator can experience itself. Now, that means that some people are in the role of a negative Nancy, people who are named Nancy. It's like the Karen word, right? It's not to say these people are bad. That's the role they chose to play in this life. Okay. Doesn't make them any less of a human being. They're here for a reason. They're a catalyst for you to learn, so that the negative, evil people, the polarizing people, the people that infiltrated us, the people who do things to and other things, okay, it's very hard to forgive people who do that, who innocently take life. for their enjoyment. For atrocities that when the truth hits, it's going to really hurt a lot of people. The truth of things, of events that have taken place in our paradigm that really shocked and stunned us all. It's going to really hurt to know what the real truth is and how malicious these people are. And we have to forgive them. That's how we move up. Because you have to understand they were a catalyst for your awakening. They were the catalyst that woke you up. They were the catalyst that showed you what not to be, what light was within you to persevere, to wake up, to see the injustice and the whole ugly truth in its entirety. They woke you up. If it wasn't for that, the light would not be shining on the world right now. The light wouldn't have won this war. It's a biblical war, whatever you want to call it. It's between good and evil, light and dark. The light won. But how did the light win? The light had to wake its sleepy people up to the truth. And we come in waves. And us, we are like first waves. And yes, there have been people that have been awake for a very long time. But we're all now combining together in a large, massive sum. We're all culminating together in our big plate. And we're going to shatter a lot with love and forgiveness. You have to forgive these people because they're still a part of Creator. They chose to play a role to help us move on. You have to look at it that way. Even in the law of one, the negative polarity people are going to fourth density negative polarity if they are harvested and graduated. Those of us who are of the positive are going to the positive place, right? They're experiencing the service to self modality, but that still serves Creator. It's just a role that we each play. Those of us who are ranged for the positive are going through the positive modalities. That includes dealing with the negative. And we have to forgive them because if they were in existence and if they didn't do the atrocities that they have done, we would have never woken up. We would have never learned. Here we are because of them. They were the catalyst that changed us, woke us up, made us think outside the box, made us say, there's a lot of lies going on and I don't like it. What are they lying about? Why does Jason have 700,000 pages printed of documents that aren't readily available? I mean, it is, but it's not. Because if more people were to look into all these documents, we wouldn't be here. We would know about the secret treaty of Verona. We would know about it all, but we don't because it wasn't put out there. The Council of Nicaea. What else do we not know about? But if that catalyst wasn't there, Jason wouldn't have been able to pick any of that up. None of us would have. Something sparked it. But we also have to forgive it. Because they're still a part of the divine role that we all have to have. And in this life, some of these people chose a negative polarity. Remember, the grays and the reptilians are a part of the creation. They're part of God. In this density. You have to have both, positive and negative. Because it's within you to balance it out. You got to balance out your polarity. I have an ugly side to me. You don't want to see it. Everybody has an ugly side to them. You could be the sweetest person in the world. You still have a bad side to yourself. But you embrace it. You balance it out because you need both. You need both. You can't exist without both in this realm. When you move up in consciousness and you expand your mind, you drop those things that no longer serve you. So just let that sink in a little bit. It's tough because it's hard to forgive people who do really heinous things. But you have to forgive. That's what Christ taught. Is that correct? It's what he taught. And that wasn't just him. This is from quote, "It is not possible to either forgive self or other self without a release of that self and an acceptance of help. For there is help at the core of your being, waiting to be accessed, waiting to be asked." Creator, which encompasses infinite love and patience, is in your heart space waiting for you to acknowledge it. Quote, "At the heart of your being lies infinite truth, infinite power, infinite strength. Forgive self, others, and humanity." It's not just about yourself, and it's just not about others. It's also about humanity. We have to remember the planetary mind frame. So all of those in other countries that the Americans have hindered and hurt, know that it wasn't all the Americans that even consented to that, because 98% of Americans had no idea what was going on behind their backs. But we hope that you can forgive us for the atrocities others has done in our name. And we could say the same about other countries coming and infiltrating us. It's happened everywhere. So forgive. Lastly, entering fully in the present moment. Quo, you need to accept any and all circumstances with persistence. It's only an illusion. With Ra also states that it is between you and the truth. To look forward with doubt and faith, a bunch of people need structures to guide others, find their leading in the woods or nature, none of which should be resisted or judged by another. We all come to the infinite creator in our own ways. So those people who are like me that go into nature to seek solace with nature and creator is no different from someone going to a church, a temple, or a mosque. I commune within. Other people need somebody to tell them or preach to them or uplift them, which is fine. There's no judging there. Right, but that's something that needs to be dropped, because that's what a lot of people continuously do. They hug on to their reins of their paradigm, and they can't let go, and they cannot accept other people who find the same creator in other ways. Live in the present moment. Stop worrying about what other people are doing. Worry about what you do and what resonates with you, and that's all that matters. Shouldn't worry about how someone finds God, creator, infinite intelligence, whatever you want to call it, source, spirit. Doesn't matter. It's all the same. God, goddess, again, Urantia and the law of one, and the keys of Enoch, and Awaspe all tell you there's the law of one, but the law of one encompasses the cosmic law. The cosmic law and order. Guess what? Upstairs, it's an administration. It's a governance. All the entities are having a role within the divine creation, including us. There are rules and regulations to the realms, and each density has its own rules and sets of things that we need to go by. In each density, we learn more, we go through more, we learn more. And each time we move up, there's other entities who are in this administration who help us and guide us. And they all have a job. And we will have that job as well. All takes patience and experience with compassion. A lot of this is inner work. The seeker who feels that it knows what is to be dropped in order to be more, the heart of self is deluding itself at some level. For there is no way from within the self to see into the patterns of energy that are, in essence, distortions of the one creator. There's illusions and distortions. And again, creator has these in place and installed in our reality to help us understand that you got to go within. There's no one perfect human being. There's no one perfect situation. And when you're going through this present time, feel everything, encompass everything, forgive, release, let go, accept, and move on. Sitting in judgment, sitting and gossiping, and sitting and doing all those things is a human construct. But we're not at the level now where we're moving up, and those things are not acceptable up there, and we're not going to graduate if we keep holding on to these things. And again, no one's perfect, and this takes a lot of work. That's why I don't think we're zipping into the Aquarius matrix 2 weeks from now. It could happen, I don't know, but I don't believe so. I believe this is going to take place after everything happens. We're not ascending just yet. We have time. We're not moving into the new plane of existence just yet, in my opinion. A lot will go down. A lot of things will definitely happen. But we need to encompass on a planetary scale all these things. And the test that we're going to be going through is when everything shuts down and when there is no lights and when things happen. How are we going to be and how we're going to maintain in our paradigm? Because guys, if I lost my job 7 months ago and I can barely keep myself afloat now with 1 or 2 people helping me out here and there, it's not every month and it's not all the time. How are you going to respond to the community when everything goes out and you're in the same boat? That's a test. We have to be tested. And I think by next year in 2023, 2024 is when the shift will happen. Because then we'll have more lessons to encompass. We have more forgiveness that we can now consciously be aware of, that we need to release and forget, let go, accept, okay, be the better, higher walking person on the hill and move on and be helpful and be a service to others. Be in the present. We should all praise and be thankful for the journey we walk. Accept what is happening. The attitude of gratitude. So even if things suck, I have gratitude for what I have, what I'm thankful for, the lessons that I'm learning right now. What I still need to work on a lot of things. We all do. We're human, by the way. Many of us are encompassing human vehicles. So we still have this human experience we need to learn from, and that's what we're doing. So be grateful for it. There is a line of entities that want to come in for this experience. Whether they know it or not, their veil of forgetting is going to happen. And then you're going to be like, what did I sign up for? But at the end of the day, you become a better person. You become a fresh breath of air. And again, not everybody's going to take to that, but you're going to find the people that will. You're going to find, I'm going to find, we're going to all come together at some point in this journey, whether it be on the internet, whether it be in your area, and we're going to service others with our special abilities, with our knowledge and what we know and what we've taken from other people, so we can disperse it out, because it's not just one person, it's all of us. It takes all of us. It takes all of us. So let's do the work together, because this is how we're going to start walking in our missions. We have to do the self-work. We have to forgive. We have to accept. We have to release. And we have to teach these methods to other people so they can comprehend that, yeah, bad things happen to good people. Why? Because they need that catalyst to learn and to be perseverant and to persevere through horrible things, so that they could teach other people who are going through a similar situation how to be strong, how to go and live through those pains. We all go through them, but there's a younger generation that needs a whole rewiring. That all these things that we are all learning, no matter what our ages are, we have children now who are gifted and special and talented that are getting messed up in the minds. And we can impart this on them. If not for ourselves, for them. And that's how we walk in our mission. And again, they need to come to it. And that's why I have these videos, because people might come to this in a year, 2 years, doesn't matter. As long as YouTube stays up, and as long as the other platforms I put up stay, someone who needs it will find it. And you might be the same. You might be a spiritual person who's doing very similar work. Keep it up. Don't give up. I'm trying not to give up. I'm going until I can't go anymore. Even if there's a pause in between, like the last couple of days, oh my goodness. But it's okay. Everything has its divine timing, and everything is of divine creation. So once we understand that, good, the bad, the ugly is included with that. Again, these people came to play a role for us to wake up. That includes the evil things. Stop letting it affect you. Forgive them. Send them love, because they hate that. They hate love. Send them love. Unconditional. Send them that energy. They can't stand it. Then they move on. But how to approach your mission. So guys, this is some very helpful things that I picked out of the Wanderer's Handbook that will help us approach our missions, because many of us have multiple missions, but we got to do the inner work. It really did take me a very long time to learn a lot of what I am now projecting onto you guys and trying to impart on everybody. It's taken me a long time. But I'm happy that I went through those experiences. I'm grateful for them. And again, we never stop learning. So there's still always more to go. So don't give up. With that, I don't want to drag this on anymore because I'm ranting. I hope all of you, at least some of you, got something that resonated within you to start helping you. I will go into other topics that will help more with the approaching, but I wanted to start here. I think this is a good place, especially that we're transforming our bodies, our chemical bodies, our vehicles, our DNA, everything is transforming right now. So we might be falling apart and our paradigm might be going bananas right now. That's okay. It's meant to happen that way. However it's happening for you, don't sit in the negativity, sit in the positivity. Understand it's for our betterment. Forgive it, release, accept, let it go. Because it's only bettering you. And it's a part of the divine experiment that's happening right now. So with that, sending each and every one of you love and light. I hope all of you have a really great rest of the week. I will be putting up oracle readings for earth, air, fire, and water in the coming days because we are headed into another eclipse. It's a lunar eclipse of a full moon. That's some crazy energy. And we just started Mercury retrograde. So there's a lot of crazy energies. A lot of us pick up on this stuff. So those oracles are supposed to help. I put 2 out today for starseeds, and I put 1 out for the collective. I'm going to do others for those who, are in the struggle, and for, all the other ones that I do. So look out for those. The energies weren't sitting right with me to do them and to have the channel spirit properly. And today was like, oh, okay, yay. So yeah. With that, I'll see you on the next one. Keep the faith.